How many of you know two languages? How many of you feel different when speaking in either of those languages? Do you express your thoughts and feelings in exactly the same way in both of them? Or do you feel that there is some difference when you speak in your mother tongue and when you talk in your second language? Nelson Mandela said once, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to a man in his language, that goes to his heart. My name is Viale Agustina, and today I'm going to talk about languages and feelings. The topic of today is not about accuracy when using the language. The topic of today is about feelings about languages, how we feel when we speak in our mother tongue and how we feel when we speak in our second language. What I particularly have experienced is that I feel more security expressing my feelings in my second language. But as I said before, it is not a matter of accuracy. It is not a matter of using the correct words or not. Because at this point, of course, it's easier for me to talk and find words in my mother tongue. Here, what I suggest is that I feel like a distance between what I say and me. So, for example, if I have to say something very emotional and very moving for me in English, which is my second language, it will be easier because perhaps I wouldn't be moved while saying this. But if I have to say the same in my mother tongue, will be the opposite. I will be moved. But in my second language, this doesn't happen to me. So it is like I am a different person in my second language. So the thing is that when we express our emotions in the second language, we don't feel as authentic as in language one. It is like you are a different person. Aneta Pavlenko, who is a linguistic, who has done a lot of research in the areas of bilingualism and the relation with cognition and emotions, stated that bilingual speakers frequently report that swearing, praying, lying, and saying I love you feel different when using a native rather than a foreign language. So, Bon and Lay, in the Journal of Social Psychology, show that code switching and the use of the second language may act as a distancing function, letting people express the ideas that will be too disturbing if they express them in their native language. So, bilingual speakers have this possibility of switching to the second language in order to avoid discomfort, anxiety, or embarrassment. So the reality is that we even tend to think with more coldness when we speak when we think in our second language than in our mother tongue. And this is because, as John Anthony Dunyaveite stated, there is a close relationship between the language and the context in which you learn it. The thing is that every language develops at the same time as the emotional regulation systems. So, what happens? When children learn the basic words and phrases in their mother tongue, they are simultaneously learning how to connect emotional feelings, not just with language, but with facial expressions and the behavior of all the people around them. So, it is probable that all these utterances and phrases that they learn become tightly connected to the brain's emotional system. And think about insults and jokes. If you hear or if you say an insult in your second language, it wouldn't have the force it would have in your first language, in your mother tongue. And the same happens with jokes. It doesn't matter how much you understand it, your brain and your body react differently because we react to those words in our mother tongue. So our mother tongue is very connected to us. When we learn a second language, we generally learn it in an academic context or in a language school. So we already have experience emotions, we already know emotions. And now we are just learning how to name them. So all these together provokes the varying of emotions depending if you are using your native language or your second language.